What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Pyro, and today we're working on this 2011 Nissan Armada. This is the Platinum Edition. It's a real nice one. What we're doing today is we're going to be removing a upper oil pan. And the funny thing about that is there's a lot of videos out there about how to remove the lower oil pan, which is probably the easiest thing to do on this car, but we're gonna do the upper. That one's a little bit more difficult and a lot more crap has to come out. So let me go up under the car real quick and show you what we had to remove so far just to get to this upper oil pan. All right, so first and foremost is your rack and pinion, right? You're gonna have to remove your tie rod end, right? Your tie rod end from your rack and pinion. You got these bolts over here, this bolt over here, inlet line, an outlet line, which you'll have to release. The steering gear, you'll have to do that as well. Let's go up underneath this car real quick. Sorry about the bright light. These right here are for your sway bar. This sway bar has to come out so that way you can remove your rack and pinion. This has to come down. So that's going to be a pain in the butt. Your oil filter has to come off. You have to use a 22mm socket to take off this housing back there, the oil thing right there, the oil housing there. This comes off. On this side, these two bolts have to come off. Those are for the alternator bracket. On the other side, this bolt has to come out. That's for the AC bracket. And then this little line, looks like for a knock sensor or oil sensor, that has to come out as well. Like this little guy right here, if you can see it there. Like, yep, there's the bolt right there. That has to come out. Going more toward the back, this is the lower oil pan. All those bolts have to come out. And the reason why is because you have 3 bolts, well, 1 bolt inside of that oil pan that's gonna affect how you take out all these other bolts. Now on this side here, on the passenger side, these are long bolts, and then on the driver's side, these are shorter bolts, so you won't have to get confused with any of that. Going more toward the back here, this is a transmission bolt, so you'll have to remove 1, 2, and 3 transmission bolts to get to this upper oil pan right here. This little housing has to come off right here because there's 2 bolts right here that have to come out, and those are going to be 10mm bolts that have to come out. Let's see here. These lines have to come out. Well, not come out, but have to be moved out of the way. So there's 1 bolt here, there's a bolt back over here, and then there's a bolt over here toward the front. Those have to come out as well. So with all that being said, I gotta go throw this GoPro on the charger because I'm really low on some battery life here. Woo! Boy, it's early too. Sorry, I think it was upside down. So I went to bed real early last night, and I woke up today at 4:30, which I normally don't do. But I'm gonna try to get some of this done for y'all real quick. But that's the gist of it. So as you see, I already removed the rack and pinion. I already removed the other stuff. And the reason why I'm doing this again is because when I installed that pan, the upper oil pan, the first time, I forgot this little hat looking bushing thing. I saw it sitting in my oil dump tank and I was like, what is that? Something important apparently. So now I got to drop everything again just to put it all back together. Really stupid of me, but that's the price you pay for, you know, being stupid, I guess. So let me get started on some of this stuff down there, and I'm gonna go throw this on the charger, and then as soon as it's done, I'll bring you back. All right? Thanks, man. You have a good evening. Bye. All right. So where are we at? I had to remove the oil filter socket. That's a 22 millimeter, right? And that bad boy goes right there. I've already removed these two bolts, which are the alternator bracket bolts. Those are 12 millimeters. And then I also removed this one AC compressor bolt. As you can see, it connects right here. That's a 14 millimeter. I've also disconnected this sensor right here, right? And then I removed the oil pan, the lower oil pan, which is 3, 6, 7, 8 bolts right there. And then I've also removed the oil pickup, the oil drain pickup, which is right here. Man, this light is bright. I forgot to mention that also you will need to remove this cross member right here because it goes right along where this upper oil pan is. And instead of trying to finagle it and move it out of the way, it's easier just to take it out. Big ass bolts, take it out. Okay, so the reason why I brought you over here is because I wanted to show you this one bolt right there. That one right there. That one has to come out because that's a part of this line of bolts. And then these two have to come out, this little guy right here, and there's gonna be 2 more bolts up in there. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll bring you. All right, so this one here, I removed that bolt. That one's gonna be a 12 millimeter. This one's gonna be a 10 millimeter. Now, let's see if I can show you these bolts in here. Right in there. There's one right there, and there's one right next to it going inside this hole, right? And those are going to be 10 millimeters, and they're pretty long. So take those out, and then we'll continue with these guys, with these line bolts right here. Those are also 10 millimeters, so I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, a couple things to be cautious about when this upper oil pan comes out. It's going to be 14 bolts. You got 2 really long ones in the back, and like I said, all the longer bolts are going to be on the passenger side. The reason why I had to take mine out again is because this little guy fell out, and I didn't notice it until after I was draining some other oil from another car into my oil catch. And yeah, then I figured out what this was. This goes to the oil pump in the Armada. So I had to take all this out just so I can put this back. And now I got to put everything back together. Like I said, stupid mistake on my part, but at least you guys won't make the same mistake, I hope. And also what you need to look for is there's an O-ring that goes on that oil filter adapter. As soon as that oil filter adapter comes off, there's an O-ring in there. And if you don't put that O-ring back, you'll leak like a sieve. It'll be real bad. It didn't happen to me, but I noticed it on the floor when I was making a mess over here. So here's my work area, right? And there it is right there. You see how it just fallen right there? It just fell out. And that goes to that guy right there, the backside of that guy right there. So now I gotta clean this all up. Clean this all up so I can put this stupid little thing back where it goes. I'm gonna put that thing back where it came from, worse to help me. Here's the upper oil pan right here. Now what I was saying is you need those 3 transmission bolts 1, 2, and 3 right there. And then the 2 baby bolts, here's one right here, it's still stuck in there. I couldn't get it out, it's stuck because of the adhesive. And then the 2 long bolts, see how it goes straight through right here, 1, and then there's 2 right here. And then all these ones, see how they're short? Well, these ones over here on this side are very long, right? The oil tube just popped right out. I didn't have to mess with it because it's already bolted up there. This is where that little hat bushing goes. It goes right here. So I'm gonna have to put that back. I'm gonna clean this all up, clean it all up, and then reinstall it, and then we're gonna call it a day. Sounds good? All right. Well, goodbye. All right, so we're back under the car, and I just installed the upper oil pan, all these bolts, these lines with the 10mm bolts. I installed the lower oil pan. The 2 bolts that go in here, let me see, right here, right there, in there, with this cover here. So this is the oil, what is it called? Where's my finger? Right here? Right here. This is the oil sending unit here with the O-ring that I got to put in there. And then, yeah, so here we go. We're doing progress. So next is these bolts here. I don't know if you can see that here. There we go. This is for the transmission that goes to the low oil pan, and then I still have to install this sensor right here, and then this sway bar because it's disconnected, as you can see, and then I have to still install the rack and pinion. So yeah, good times. All right, I'll be back. All right, so I just installed the bolt for the AC, which is right there. And then I installed this guy with my 22mm and my stupid O-ring that kept messing up on me. And then I installed these 2 bolts over here on the alternator bracket. Now some people are gonna say, why take that off, Mr. Pyro? Well, this bolt right here is really hard to get to. So if this is out of the way, it's easier to get that 1 bolt. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, man. So there you go. So I installed those 3 bolts back there on the transmission. And now I have to install this cross member right here. And then I got to try to work on this rack and pinion. Now my rack and pinion was leaking. So I went and bought another one from Rockauto for like under 200 bucks. I know that's a lot of money, but the rebuild kit was 50 bucks. I tried to do the rebuild and it did not work out in my favor. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, 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 ooh. I had to disassemble all of this, and it didn't even work very well. I ended up cutting it and all this other grooviness, so whatever. So now I gotta install these bolts. This is for the front thing, and then here's the cross member over here. And yeah, you don't have to see how to do all that. That's pretty self-explanatory. 4 bolts, the whole thing comes right down. Let me see. I'll come back to you when I'm ready to install this this rack and pinion and this guy right here. All right. So next up is installing the rack and pinion, which is going to be 3 big giant bolts that I have right here. These 3 bad boys right here. These are really big, actually. And then this one broke off. It's supposed to be welded on there, but it broke off from the other side there. It has this little bracket on there, this guy right here, and then this little guy right here is for the steering knuckle, so that's got to go back on too. I'm not going to show you how to do that because there's this, you know, there's other videos out there that show you how to do that. And I think I'm done with this video here. That's all I'll tell you very much. Yep. So for right now, I'm just going to let you guys go and handle it because I'm just really tired and I want to be done with this. Unfortunately. All right. I'll be back in a few. Bye. All right. So here we are. Rack and pinion installed. Oh, this took me a little while because, well, it took me a while. So these bolts here, 22 millimeter on this side, and then 22 millimeter on this side, right? This is one of your brackets. That upper bolt there is a 17 millimeter, and then that's going to go along with these two right here. And then this one has a bracket right here on this side. This is the aft side, the back side of the bracket here. All right. And then you have two connectors. Man, you can't even see them, I don't think, but there's two connectors up here. They're so hard to get to. There's your return and your pressure, and those are a B to get to. That's why it took me so long. I actually took the tie rod ends off so that way I can maneuver this thing in there. But that's it, return and pressure. So this thing's ready to go. I just have to put the tie rod ends back on the hub assembly over there, and then that's it for that. Here is the cross member that I was telling you about, or the sway bar, bushing link thing. See, all it does is it goes up. You see, if you take off the bottom one and leave the top one, it just slides right in, and then it goes in like that. And those are 17s, I believe. I gotta redo this one right here because it went slanted sideways on me. But that's it for that. Good to go. All right. So let me do that, and then I'll be back with you in a minute. Yeah, look at it, I'm all dirty too, man. This thing's so dirty underneath there, but it's fine. It's nice. It's nice on the inside. Okay, give me a minute. Bye. All right, so at this point, what we did was install the spline to the steering knuckle, which is right here, right there. All right, and that's a 13 millimeter bolt. All right, and I had the wife hold the steering wheel as straight as possible, so that way the steering wheel doesn't move over too much. I've put my tie rod ends on right here, roughly the same measurement from here to here as the old one, so it should be, you know, roughly in the same general area. So I'm about to hook up the bad boys right here to this guy, and then that might be it right there. Put on some tires, you know what I'm saying? Put on some fluid, start this bad boys up and see what's crackling. I'm all filthy. Look at that. All right. Well, hey, man, look. That's the upper oil pan removal and reinstallation. It's a pain in the butt, but it's doable. You just have to take off a lot of stuff to get to it. So hopefully this is going to work for me. The reason I had to take it off, if anyone is wondering, I had a main rod bearing go bad. So I was just replacing bearings. I don't have $2,000 or $3,000 for another engine. I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Hey, jiggas is broke these days. And what else? And the rack and pinion needed to be replaced anyways because it was leaking. So I figure two birds, one stone. And this is a two-wheel drive vehicle. Two-wheel drive, not a four-wheel drive. So if you got a four-wheel drive, hey, I can't help you, homie. I'm sorry. My bad. But hopefully this helps somebody out there. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up, man, down on the bottom. I'm also going to leave you a link so that way you can get the manual for this car. Because bet, everyone needs a manual, right? I mean, trust. This manual is legit. It gives you torque specs. It gives you how to take everything off, how to break it down. Bro, let me tell you, for shizzle, my nizzle. Anyways, that's it, man. That's how to do it. So, comments and concerns, hit me up. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that actually helps me out. It boosts my ego. All right, then. Hey, peace out, y'all. You guys have a good evening. Bye.